Hey, everybody. How's it going? Happy Sunday. Hope it's a fun day. Or whenever you happen to be watching this, hope everything is going great. Wishing everybody a happy 2026. I don't officially celebrate a new year until the spring equinox, but I do acknowledge the 2026 of it all. So hope everybody's having a great 2026 thus far. And for Minnesota Vikings fans, all right, this season is coming to a close today with the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Evil to the East, aka the Green Bay Packers. And it sounds like none of the starters are going to be starting. For Green Bay. They're kind of already in the playoffs, so they don't really have anything to worry about. The Vikings, we'll see what happens. I guess the little angel baby, JJ McCarthy, is going to be starting today. So some more reps for him, and Justin Jefferson trying to get to 1,000 yards. So those are kind of the big things for the Vikings. So it should be interesting, I guess. We'll see. Kind of meaningless, quote unquote, for both. But we'll see what happens. And, Vikings fans every year comes and goes. And I feel like this gets said every year, but there's always next year, right? So, thanks again, everybody, for swinging on through whenever you happen to be watching this now, later, whenever, hopefully not never. So good to see everybody. Happy to be back. It's been a little bit. The Vikings, too, they had a little bit of a bigger breather because they last played Detroit on Thursday Night Football. So they've been, MIA for a little bit here. So I'm going to go over my previous prediction for Vikings-Lions, talk a little bit about that, and then jump into the astrology chart for today's game. So, T-Bass, how you doing? I did get the emails. I hope you got my response back. I think you did. Well, you got the one response back. Sorry, I got a thing popping up on my screen over here. Yeah, I did. I got thank you for reaching out too. That was great. I had a good time. I did get your original, and then I'm pretty sure you got my response because you sent me pictures back, which was really cute. Frank is such a cute dog. He's so cute. And then your daughter reached out too. So I responded to her this morning. So yeah, very good. My practice session list is getting longer. So that's really, really good. I have about, I think, 8 that I need to do practice sessions. So reaching out to people is really helpful, but yeah, I did. So I'm glad you reached out. That was really great. So I hope you got my email back to you. I think you did, but yeah, it was great. It was a good time. I really enjoyed the session. So yeah. And if you want to reach out again, or you want to do another one in the future, I'm totally game for that too. But yeah, doing the practice sessions, they're going good. T-Bass, 1,000 yard was a benchmark and a big deal when it was a 12-game season, still carried over to the 14 season. 1,000 yard now in 17 games, right, is nothing with only 58 yards a game, right? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Pretty soon, I feel like one day the NFL, there's never really going to even be an off season, like at all. Even though there's an official off season right now for the NFL, it's just like there never really is, because it's talked about all the time. So yeah, that's a really good point. And I mean, like, okay, I'm sure it's important to Justin Jefferson, I'm sure, but like, I don't know, like, it's just like whatever, going through the motions, I guess. And as far as like McCarthy goes, like starting him, hey, I think that's a good idea. Get more reps in, of course, get more practice, but like, if he plays really, really well, people are going to be like, well, it was against Green Bay's, scrubs or whatever. So we got to see what he does. And if he plays bad, well, he's got to go. I don't know. I mean, just kind of going through the motions today. And it could potentially be the hitman Harrison Smith's last game. I don't know. For whatever reason, I just kind of have an inkling that he's going to be back. I think it will depend on the defensive situation, the Brian Flores situation for sure. I don't know. I just have a little bit of a hunch like that he could potentially be back, but I feel like a lot would kind of have to like go into play. I feel like, especially if the Vikings, like, I don't know if they got like a big name quarterback in here or something, if for whatever reason Brian Flores does stay or whoever replaces Brian Flores, he has a good relationship with whoever replaces Brian Flores. If that happens, he could potentially be back. But, you know, we've also been hearing like for a couple of years now, like, is this going to be Harrison Smith's last game? Rumor has it, you know, the majority, like his family's going to be there, you know, a lot of support for Harrison Smith. So, I mean, he's been a solid player all around. And yeah, so if this is Harrison Smith's last game, hey, he had a really hell of a run as a Viking. Hi, William. How you doing? Cheers to you. Also, shout out to all the Capricorns out there. No, I think you have me confused. I had the Doberman. Oh, okay. Somebody else emailed me. I thought it was you. My bad. No, I did not get your email. No, I didn't. Yeah. No, I guess I'm getting you confused with somebody else. Yeah, because they didn't give me their name. I thought that was funny because I thought that I had gotten an email from you and then it was a different dog. So no, I did not get an email from you. And I know that I think you tried to send me an email about collabing a while back. So I don't know if you have my right email. It's contactjade23@gmail.com. So I don't know if you have the right email there because I didn't get one about the collab either. And I know that you sent one. So I totally thought that you were this other person. So, and you don't have a daughter. Well, that would make sense. So yeah, let me type my email in there. It's also in the description of this video too. But yeah, if you want to do the pet reading, and that's funny because I thought it was you. And then when I got a different dog, yeah, that confused me a little bit. So no, I did not get your email about Ziva. No. So man, I wonder who I'm talking to about this other dog then. I should ask them, but yeah, practice is good. But yeah, that's my email. So I don't know where your other emails went. I'm sorry, but no, I did not get your email about Ziva. So yeah, I totally thought this other one was you. I'm gonna have to figure out who that is. So yeah, but yeah, I'm doing practice sessions. So anyway, but no, I would love to do a reading or a session for Ziva. That would be great. But yeah, contact jade23@gmail.com. That's my email right now. I'm going to be getting like a different like business email eventually down the line, but shoot me an email there. Okay. And you don't have a daughter. That's funny. Oh, man, I wonder who the heck I'm talking to then. That's crazy. You know, and that did confuse me a little bit too. I'm going to have to ask. Let's see. I don't know. Okay. That's funny. All right. Well, whatever. Yes. It's contactjade23@gmail.com. That's so funny. You know, that did throw me off too. I totally thought it was you. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting a different dog here. Maybe this is the living dog now. I got to figure out who that other person is. I don't have their name on the email. I have their daughters, but anyway. So yeah, sorry about that. I totally thought it was you. Like I said, when I got a different dog, I was like, oh, this must be a dog that T-Bus has now that's living. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, send me an email. I'll definitely put her on the list because yeah, it's growing now, which is good. But I need, you know, all the practice I can get. So yeah, I got to figure out who that is. Who is that? I don't know if they're on here too, but anyway. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we don't have to talk about other people, but yeah, because the name kind of aligned too. So that's really funny. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get you confused, but yeah, I was confused. I was like, okay, he had a Doberman that passed away. And then now I'm getting an email about a living dog. So this is just a different dog. But yeah, if you're getting paid $31 million a year, you better be averaging 58 yards a game. Exactly, right? Harrison Smith had an awesome career. Just think he's still 40 interceptions behind Paul Krause. Yeah, he's been playing really well these last couple of games, right? Yeah, contact jade23@gmail.com. Yeah, you shouldn't have any trouble then. I have to figure out who this other person is. I have to update my sheet too, because I put that it was you that emailed me. So I'm gonna have to ask them. That's so funny. I'm gonna email them back, but yeah. If anybody on this live right now, I don't think they're on here, but yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out who that is. Like, who the heck is that? It doesn't matter. I still had the session with the dog, and it went great. So. All right, William. 3 more days. I bought a new phone on New Year's. Even figured I would treat myself to an early birthday gift. Yeah, that's a good idea. How's the new phone? Are you an iPhone person or you're a droider? I'm a droider, so my mom keeps telling me to get an iPhone. I'm like, no, I'm not getting an iPhone. I like my droid. I really miss my BlackBerry too that I had with the keyboard. I really miss it. So, and yeah, T-Bass too. I do have my email pulled up here too. If I know you don't have to do it right now, but I'm like so curious as to who this other person is. I have to ask them. I'm gonna ask, but yeah. Still could do the reading because it's on the session. I mean, session reading, whatever you want to say. That's so funny. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask too. Okay. Anyway. All right. Let me get the chart pulled up here for today's game. All right. Also, too, we just had a full moon, you guys. Happy post full moon. That was yesterday. It was in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. It was a super moon. So very, very powerful, depending on, personal placements for everybody. But if you have anything in the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or if you know your chart and you have anything at like 13 degrees of the water signs, or of like Aries, Libra, Capricorn, or Cancer, you'll be heavily affected or feel that. But usually the full moons are good for like closure and endings and things like that. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I don't celebrate the new year until the spring equinox, because that is when everything starts. Everything is growing right now. And that goes with Aries, Aries season. Aries is the very first zodiac sign out of all 12. So that's when I celebrate the new year. I mean, everybody to each their own, but like, it's kind of odd to celebrate like new things and make like new goals in the dead of winter when everything is like frozen and, not growing or doing anything right now. So I do acknowledge going into a year of 2026. 2025 was a 9 year. It's kind of funny too for Vikings fans and the whole 9 JJ McCarthy of it all. Because if you add 2, 2, and 5, 0 together, all those numbers together, you equal 9. So 2026 is a 10 year, but if you take away the 10, we're at the 1. So good for creating and building. And then the Chinese New Year will be starting, I think, February 17th. So we're going to be moving now from a snake year, which is kind of about like shedding, getting rid of what doesn't work. And we're going to be moving into a fire horse year. So funny enough, JJ McCarthy, when he was born, his Chinese animal is a horse as well. I don't think it's the same element, but we're going to be going into a horse year. So Minnesota as a state itself is also a horse state. So I do think that after the Chinese New Year in February, I do think the Vikings, like if I was their astrologer, I would really suggest to keep JJ McCarthy, to keep him in the state of Minnesota. He is a horse. The state of Minnesota is a horse. We're going into a horse year. So hopefully all of those things, will help him progress in 2026. So, all right. Yes, droider, team droid. Very good. Yeah, I love my droid. Texas, if the Jets don't get an interception today, they will be the first team in NFL history to not have one in a season. Really? Man, the poor Jets, they've really been struggling. All right, so Vikings fans that are here, anybody have any backup teams that you're cheering for? Because, yeah. All right, nice chatting with you. Back to fishing. That's so crazy. Yeah. Well, good luck fishing. Yes. You have zero interest in the game. That's totally fair. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to be streaming during the game today at all. So that's why I'm popping on early. So yeah, enjoy your fishing. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Chris, how you doing? Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Again, I don't officially celebrate the New Year until the spring equinox, but happy 2026. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you. You hate football. Colts are a hospital of injuries, and Panthers lost to a Bucs team on a 4-game losing streak. Oh, the Panthers did lose to the Bucs. The Buccaneers are one of my backup teams. The Jaguars, the Bucs, and the Broncos are my backup teams this year. So, hey, but I'm sorry about your Colts. That sucks because that started so promising for you. And then now it's just like, okay, we're done. So I feel that. I feel that. As time goes on, I just really it's just a game, right? It's just a game. I have more fun looking at the astrology of everything. So, as you guys pretty much know by now. Okay, where's the chart now? I thought I had it already. Okay, here it is. So let me share the chart for today. Before I do that, so last week, let's see, it was on Christmas, actually, the 25th. Yeah. So nerd notes for the win over here, people. So on the 25th, it was the Vikings versus the Lions. They played at 3:30 in Minneapolis. Max Brosmer was the starting quarterback for Minnesota. I think he only had like 50 some yards or something. The moon was in Pisces. Let's see. I did have Minnesota winning that game. I had Minnesota winning versus the Lions, but I had them winning in a lot closer game. My posted prediction was the Vikings were to win by 2 to 6 points, and they ended up winning by 13. So the final score was Minnesota 23, Detroit 10. Detroit per the astrology chart, did not have pretty much anything positive going their way. They were dealing with a lot of squares. Squares in astrology is when two planets or, the sun or the moon are 90 degrees apart from one another. That's very, very challenging. There's energy there, but it's not smooth sailing. Okay. It's tension. It's hard. And the Lions just had a lot of squares. They didn't have any really good communication per the astrology of that chart or that game where the planets were. And, it's funny too, because Detroit was dealing with all of that astrological hardship, and they let Minnesota get so many takeaways. I can't remember the exact number, but I think Detroit entered that game with only giving up the ball like 8 times or like 8 interceptions, something like that. And the Vikings had like 5 takeaways versus the Lions. So it was just very reflective of the chart too for the Lions. Just again, they did not have anything like going their way in the astrology chart at all. So that was reflected in the game there, definitely. So let's see. It's funny you mentioned a BlackBerry back in 2010. You mentioned a BlackBerry back in 2010. Then I first went with Boost Mobile. That was my first ever cell phone. Oh, really? The BlackBerry? I miss my BlackBerry. I had like 2 BlackBerries, I think, in my day, but I really liked it because you got the full keyboard and then you got the little scrolly ball too. So I was so bummed when I couldn't keep my BlackBerry anymore. I really liked it. So people that like the BlackBerries that are a part of the BlackBerry community, once you love your BlackBerry, it's kind of hard to get anything else. It's funny. Hi, Delton. How are you doing? Thank you. There you are. Welcome. Good to see you. I see you over on Rap's channel quite a bit. And it was fun to see you call in. I saw you call in the other day. What was it? I think first Detroit. Maybe you called in. And he was talking the other day. Are you doing like podcasting stuff? Do you have like an official channel too that I should be subscribing to and coming to your lives or your videos or something like that? If you do, definitely drop it in the chat here. So What is 6 about? What is that about? Or is that just a typo? Sorry, I meant when, not then. Yeah. Oh, in 2010 when I first went with Boost Mobile. Oh, no, that's all right. Yeah. I freaking hate the typos when I'm in other people's chat and when I'm on my phone, I'm always doing typos on accident. See, I need the keyboard of the BlackBerry. I need it back. Like just the other day when I was in Rap's chat, I was like sending stuff and then it'll send before I'm done typing, or I'll try to go back and like fix a word, but it'll send it, and like, okay, that was dumb, but no, it's all good. I feel you. I feel it. It's all good. Hi, Randy. How you doing? Happy Sunday to you. Okay, dude, who's your quarterback today? Like, who's even playing? Like, I mean, I guess there's like always pride to play for, and like some people that don't normally get to start or play, especially for Green Bay. Maybe they're going to be kind of like auditioning themselves today. So we could always look for that. But seriously, I don't even know who the freaking Evil to the East. I don't even know who their quarterback is today. Like, who dat? Who is it? Not Jordan Love. It's not Malik Willis. I did hear his name, but like, who the hell is it? Yeah. Hi, John. How you doing? I haven't pulled up the astrology chart yet, but yeah, I am kind of leaning that direction too. I mean, there's a couple of things you never really know, but I did look at the astrology of this game. I pulled up the chart yesterday because the majority of you know that that's what I base the predictions on now is the astrology. I just put all the fandom to the side. I just go by the astrology. Like now it's like I can't look past it since I started doing it. So unless I don't look at the astrology of a game and then just kind of go into it. But yeah, that's kind of more as time goes on, time continues to go on. Like that's where I find more enjoyment now is looking at the astrology of the games and making the prediction rather than like the actual game itself. Like I like sports. I like playing and participating, and I do like watching. Sometimes it's hard for me to watch, like, especially if I'm watching something like live. I like to go support, but then I get a little bummed out because I want to be playing. But because I want to participate. But anyway, so for me, that's kind of where the fun lies. And especially just, I mean, I don't have to go too down the other path, but I mean, they are playing a children's game after all, right? So yeah. I think they're probably going to win today too. We'll see. You type fast? Yeah. I try to type fast to get everything in because stuff comes in my brain. I'm like, oh, I got to get it out. I want to type it fast. But then, yeah. So that's good though. Right. Exactly. They got to get ready for the playoffs because they're actually going to keep playing, unlike the Vikings. So yeah. No podcast. I was on a members only for Ross channel last night. Baby girl, we can chop it up whenever, like in real life. Oh man. I thought you had like an actual podcast or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, shoot me an email. If anybody, you guys, because there's a couple people on now. Clayton Toon. Okay. All right. But yeah, Delton, I appreciate that. I thought you had a channel. I thought Rap was saying that you had a channel going on. Love is the backup. Okay. Hopefully he just, for his own sake, I guess, stays on the sideline. All right, to T Bass's point here, if anybody does want to send me an email, I am doing, I'm taking an animal communications class right now, and I'm doing free sessions. So if you do have a pet, either living or in spirit, it doesn't matter if you had a pet when you were a kid, you can still do a session with them, and they're no longer with you. I am doing them for free right now just to get more practice on that. The only thing that I ask in return is feedback. Any and all feedback is very, very beneficial. That's the only not the only point, but one of the main points of doing the sessions is getting feedback. So if you do have a pet, either living or in spirit, again, time does not matter. So if you had a pet that passed away 20 years ago, still can do it. If you are interested in that, send me an email. My email is in the description, and it's also right here. So you can send me an email and I will put you on the list to do it. I've got a list of almost like 10 right now that practice sessions. But if you are interested in that, or if you know anybody interested in that, send me an email and I would love to do a session with your pet, animal, friend, however you refer to them. Again, living or in spirit, it does not matter. Again, the only thing I'm asking for is feedback. Okay, so yeah, I sent you an email. Let me know you got it. I will check right now. All right. So yeah, if you do want to send me an email, I am doing that right now. And that's kind of why I haven't been streaming the games too, is because we've been kind of meeting in the class on Sundays. I did. Yes. T-Bass, I got it. Thank you. Yep, I got it. Perfect. I seriously have to figure out who this other person was. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him later. But yeah, again, I thought that was weird. I totally thought it was you. I'm so sorry about that. But yes, I got your email right now. Very good. Yep. I'll put Ziva on. That's very good. I think she's like I'm going to try to get through. I have like 5, 6, 7. But yeah, I'll try to get back to you when I can. But yeah. So anyway, they're all free right now, people. Eventually, I'm going to have like a website and all that stuff. But yeah, I got it. Very good. Thanks for reaching out. I'm excited. All right. I don't know how much information you want. There is one important question I wanted to know, but I'm not sure to tell you. You know what? That's totally up to you. In the class, teach their own. Like what I'm doing right now, since it is just practice, I can take your question, but I'm kind of just going in without questions just to kind of see what I get. If you do want to ask the question, I can ask, definitely. But too, we can always do a session in the future, especially when I get more practice and can go, more in depth and things like that. So if you want to hold it for like a future session or something like that, it's totally up to you. If you want to ask, I can ask and see too, totally up to you. But yeah. So, and again, in the future, we can do like a more in-depth session, too, later down the line, if you want to do something like that. But it's totally up to you. Totally up to you. Pets are good because they're like a filter from the shitty ass world. Exactly. Oh my God. I love the animals so much. Yeah. They're amazing. Pets are great. Yeah. It's so great. Yeah, and they're just like, they're just pure, right? They're just so pure. And yeah, they just want to like, pets, animals, they just, especially, any sort of pet, really, they just want to be there. They want to love you and support you. And I think every pet and animal's got a specific purpose and stuff like that. So, and there's people in the class too that have been doing this for a very, very long time. And it's just amazing the amount of information that some of the people in this class that are doing this like professionally now, it's just amazing the information, the in-depth information that they get. And the teacher who I'm learning from, like she's been doing this for years and years and years and years. And like she had to like stop because she's got like an 8,000 person wait list. So she had to just like cut off her readings for now because she's got like over 8,000 people waiting. But yeah, some of the people in my class are just like the amount of information and like accurate information. I mean, the animals are always talking, right? They're always communicating, and they communicate telepathically. That's just how they do all the time. And they're always communicating. Like if you have a pet or an animal, if you had one, they're always communicating with you. They're always communicating with you. It's just a matter of like filtering out, what your thoughts are, so, and that's all a part of like my learning too and getting the stuff. But yeah, if you don't mind, do you like talk to the pets? Yeah. Pretty much. Yep. That's pretty much what it is. The session, or, some people say reading, but my teacher, everybody in this class, we call it sessions. But yeah, so you connect with the animal and you got to get, like permission. I'm just not going to I'm not going to a dog that, I see with an owner. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to try to talk to you because I didn't get permission. It's all about, getting permission to, but some people in the class too, they'll try to talk to just random birds, that are just hanging out or whatever. I haven't tried to do that yet, but a lot of what I hear from a lot of my classmates in regard to just the wild animals, a lot of the birds, I guess, are just I can't talk right now, I'm busy. They're just busy doing their own thing, living their life. But yeah, it's all about getting permission to speak with, somebody's animal. So if somebody posts a picture of their dog or whatever, a video of their dog, I'm not going to just be like, oh, I'm going to talk to them, too. And a classmate of mine too, she had a session with a cat, and the owner had paid for the session, and the cat did not want to talk to her. The cat was just I don't want to talk to you. My classmate did do the session and did eventually talk to the cat and get information, but the cat was not I don't want to talk to you. No, it took a little coercing, and then there was a conversation, but then at the end of it, the cat was okay, I don't want to do that again. So it's really interesting to see, what people get. Okay, you can wait. Yeah, you know what? Whatever you want to do, man. That's cool. Vocal Vike in the chat. Woo! We got a celebrity here. Rap's here, everybody. Rap, good to see you. Thanks for stopping through. Yes, Skull Vikes. I think they got it in the bag today, probably. Don't you? So, FTP, there you go. Thanks for stopping in, Rap. Always good to see you. It was fun listening to you and JJ talk the other day. That was a very good stream. And I'll try to pop in on the pep rally today too. I think you're probably gonna, oh man, are you doing pep rally today? Normally you're on your pep rally, right? Or at maybe 11:30. It's already 11:15. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Rap, good to see you. You guys, I think you're all subscribed to Rap's channel already, but if you're not, please go do so. Vocal Bike over there. All right. Chris, oh, you have 2 cats yourself? Yeah. I mean, if you want, again, I'm doing just practice sessions right now. So practicing, and they're totally free. The only thing I would ask is feedback. So if you want to send me an email, I would absolutely be down to do that. So, and if you don't want to, that's cool too. Totally open. Again, the only thing I ask is for feedback, you guys. So if you guys are interested, contact jade23@gmail.com is the email I'm using right now. I can do the session with or without a picture. And I need to know the animal, the name of the animal, the species, the gender, and then, Chris, for example, has 2 cats. So I would need to know the other humans in the home and the 2 cats, their names, their genders, and any other pets that are in the home or any other animals that they've ever lived with. So basically name, gender, species, humans in the home, and then any other pets in the house too. So yeah, anyway, this last practice session I did, that was the first one I did where I did not have a picture of the dog. I knew it was a French bulldog, but I didn't have any picture of the dog or anything like that. And again, the animal can be living or in spirit passed on. So yeah. Anyway, fish on. Talk to fish too. Wouldn't that be interesting? I've only done dogs or cats so far, but yeah, could do a reading with fish too. That would be interesting. Yeah. Let's see. I want Harrison to get a pick for the 40-20 club. 420, where your friends at? Jettis to get 54 for a grand and a W, of course. Yeah. I feel like all of those things could potentially happen today. Yeah. And I think they probably will get the win, but let me pull up the chart. 31 million a year. He better get 1,000 yards in 17 games. I don't care who the quarterback is. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I think too, I heard that Justin Jefferson got the Corey Stringer like media award, I think, for being like a good guy for the media to talk to, or always being willing to chat. All right, you guys, here's the chart for today's game, because it's almost 11:30 already. Time flies when we're having fun. Okay. All right. And two, I probably will be renaming my channel. I think I'm just gonna do my actual name. Because I want everything, all my other social medias and the website that I'm gonna eventually have, I want it to all be the same too. So look out for that, you guys. I think I'm probably just gonna change the name of my channel to my name. But my name as a website has already been taken, so I have to figure out something else. Maybe put my middle initial in there or something like that. But Dad and Son here. I like that name. Hello. I like seeing people from Twitch come over. I'm doing good. How are you, Dad and Son? Are you doing good? Hope you are. Thanks for stopping through. You can ask the fish I catch how the cooking went. You know what? I recently actually heard of a reading that was done on a cow that was kept for quite a long time, and they butchered the cow to eat it. This family did, and they actually did a reading on the cow that, after he had been, I don't want to say slaughtered. That's a little much, but like after, they took him to the butcher or whatever. And basically, long story short, like the cow knew that was going to be happening. The cow was happy for its life that it had, and it was happy in life, and it was happy that it could then provide for the family. And the cow knew that the time had come, and the cow put himself in the trailer to be driven to, be euthanized or, slaughtered or whatever you want to say, to be passed on, however you want to put it. And again, the cow was happy that it had such a great life and that it was taken care of in such a great way, and it had a good time here while it was alive, and it was happy that it could serve a purpose and that it could help the family. So it was all about too, like the family then eating this animal that they had, raised and treated so kindly. So they were nourishing their body with an animal that they had poured love into. So, and I've also, since I started the class and stuff like that, I've learned that all animals, they know when their time is coming. They just instinctively, they know. So yeah. I guess you could technically do that if you wanted to. Both of you are here. Nice. Can you drain our money? I don't know what that means, and I have a feeling of what that means, and probably not. Let's see. Carl Jefferson needed to get some sort of award this year. What do you mean he needed to? Yeah, I don't know. That's funny that you mentioned that, because when I heard he got that award, I was like, I mean, yeah, he'll talk to the media unless, he doesn't want to talk to them or whatever. He seems like a nice kid or whatever, but I immediately was like, oh, they need to give him that award, so he'll be happy and want to stay here, right? So he's going to want to stay. No. Respectfully, no. Respectfully, no. Okay. So let's see here. Let's get into just the chart really quick of the game today. So Vikings are hosting. It is January 4th. They're playing in Minneapolis. The moon, again, we just had a full moon, people. So that's when the moon and the sun are opposite one another. The full moon was at 13 degrees of Cancer. So the moon was over here opposing the sun when the sun was at 13 degrees of Capricorn. Capricorn and Cancer are opposite signs. So again, when there's a full moon, the sun and the moon are opposite one another. It's usually endings, culminations, things coming to a close. So for the Vikings, obviously their season coming to a close today. And the full moon was just yesterday. All right. And in the next couple of weeks here, we're going to be feeling the effects of the full moon before the next new moon. So in the next couple of weeks too, some other teams are, also things are going to be coming to a close. All right. And, just for the teams that are going to be going into the playoffs, their regular season, again, coming to a close here. So that's kind of the effects that we're feeling right now. So the moon actually, because she's the co-ruler of every single chart. I look at the moon first usually. So the moon at the start of this game at noon Central Time, will be at 2 degrees of Leo. All right. If I were the cow, I'd be pissed, right? Yeah, everybody's different, right? Yeah, and it was interesting to listen to that one. And that's just one cow with one family, right? So think about all those other ones. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of animals that are not happy about it, that are not happy about it at all. Like, I mean, my cousin does it now, but my maternal grandparents, like they raised cattle. That's what my grandpa did. He grew up doing that, and then he did that. My cousin does it now. My cousin lives on the family farm that my grandparents lived, that I grew up going to. And I would feel bad like for all of the cows. And it was so interesting, that like my grandpa, like those are like his best friends too, but yet at the same point, he was raising them for money and also to eat them. So it's just, yeah. And cows specifically too, like cows have best friends. I mean, every animal species is different, at their things and stuff, but like cows specifically have best friends, and they react specifically to certain colors too. Like they do not like the color red. That's why if you see any like bullfighting or whatever, they use the red. It's not like a sheet, or it's, God, what's the name for it? Like, I've actually been to one of those events before. But yeah, that's why in bullfighting they use red. Cows do not like red. So just all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so yeah, I've been around quite a bit of that. And even as a kid, I mean, I remember when the butcher would come, and I was staying with my grandparents, and yeah, I mean, I would see all of that stuff. And it was, I mean, I like in my brain, I can see like a cow hanging, for lack of better word, just hanging in the yard after, waiting for stuff to drain out and the butcher to take them, and just thinking like, all the other cows seeing that too, right? So it's just, we don't have to go down that road, but yeah, so I've been around a lot of that, and then on the flip side, like one time we were all eating, I think it was like Easter. Yeah, it was Easter because it was in the springtime. My grandpa had to leave the dinner table because a cow needed help giving birth, So I've seen like live births many times too, which is, it's just fascinating, amazing too. And it's just like, whoa, there's a calf now. Like you're brand new and you're standing up too. So, and they also had horses, dogs, cats, and they had buffalo too. And they bred they didn't specifically try to, but the buffalo that they had was female. So she had a calf, and it was actually a beefalo. So that was very interesting. And I remember he was like all black. He looked like a cow, but he had like a hump like a buffalo. And he was a feisty one. Like he was always getting out. And he was super feisty. Anyway, so yeah. Anywho. Okay. So let's see here. So yeah, needless to say, I've been around quite a few cows. And then my other side, my other grandparents, they had like guineas, which are kind of like, they're not chickens, but they're birds. They eat like bugs and mosquitoes. And then my both of my grandpas actually were actual, like, speaking of quarterback whispers, both of my grandpas were total horse whisperers. I mean, both of them, just like completely, like, I mean, they just had a way with animals, specifically horses. But yeah, and then my other grandparents, they lived on a farm also, but my grandpa had mules. So there was always mules around, and he did like the horse, he put them in like parades and stuff, and he was really good with leather and like sewing leather. And like my paternal grandpa was just like, he could pick out the best horse just out of like a group of like 50 of them. He could just go pick it out. He just knew. He just like instinctively knew. And like he rode horses to school and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah. So Vikings news today. Skol on, skol back. Thanks for stopping through. All right, you guys. So back to this chart here, because I am going to pop off before game time. I am going to check in at halftime, or that's the plan, to do a halftime check-in. So look out for that. But so basically the moon, again, she's the co-ruler of the chart here. She's going to be at 2 degrees of Leo. And, you know, the little astrology that I do know about Justin Jefferson and JJ McCarthy, they actually both have Leo moons. So when they were born, the moon was in the sign of Leo. Leo is a very flashy sign. A lot of times people that have, you know, like the sun or the moon in Leo, they can be found in entertainment. Leo's ruled by the sun, so it's just like the spotlight is always following like people with heavy Leo placements. So if I remember correctly, Justin Jefferson has an early Leo moon. So when he was born, the moon was kind of in around where the moon is today. And JJ McCarthy has a later Leo moon. So when he was born, the moon was in the later degrees of Leo. Each zodiac sign is 30 degrees. So, I mean, just knowing that, like, it would not surprise me at all if Jefferson gets his 50 whatever yards today, because the moon is they're both going to be having their moon return, which happens for all of us every month or so. The moon will go back to where it was when you were born. And the moon moves really quickly. The moon only stays in a zodiac sign for about 2.5 days. The moon is kind of our emotions, our private self, kind of more our like feminine side. We all have masculine, feminine, but that's kind of the moon. And again, she's the co-ruler of every chart. So the fact that she's in Leo today and both JJs have a Leo moon, you know, that could bode well for them. And yeah, it would not surprise me at all if Justin Jefferson, you know, got this record. And again, the astrology usually reflects what's going on and vice versa. So that's not surprising to me either, but I just remembered that both the JJs have a Leo moon. All right. And that could be another reason too why it's not like they don't get along, but both of them like want the spotlight, right? And again, that's very indicative with people with Leo placements. That Leo is ruled by the sun. It's very powerful. So the spotlight is always going to be there. And we talked about this before too, that Venus is the planet that kind of rules, you know, your aesthetic, kind of what you like to wear. And Justin Jefferson, for example, he's always kind of wearing these flashy clothes. Well, we found out that Justin Jefferson's Venus is actually in Leo. So that's very, very fitting. He was kind of walking in some fashion shows and things like that. So that's very fitting for him. Now, for the Vikings, they're going to actually be ruled by Venus today, because the sign that rules them is Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. So Venus, we got a lot of Capricorn energy here, you guys. We have all of this energy in Capricorn. So Mercury is in Capricorn, our communication planet. Venus, what we love, is in Capricorn. The sun, our ego, our masculine side, who we are at our core, in Capricorn right now. Mars, our ambition, our drive, our energy. It can, rule anger. It's fast moving, also in Capricorn. So we have all of this Capricorn energy right now. Capricorn can be very serious minded. It can be all about work, no play. It can be kind of cold. So maybe a little bit more of like a serious tone today. All right. Now we're still going to get some flashy energy, and it is entertainment after all, especially again with the moon in Leo. Okay. And the moon also rules the people. Again, in world astrology, the moon rules the people. All right. So Venus is going to be the planet that rules the Vikings today. And then for the evil to the east, the Packers, they're going to be represented by Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars. So we have both Green Bay and the Vikings in Capricorn right next to the sun. So it's like, for the Vikings, this is the, creme de the creme. This is not the creme de the creme. That's the wrong. This is the ending. Okay. This is the end. All right. Venus is coming together with the sun. All right. Let's go out with a bang here. Let's try to get this win, even though the game is kind of meaningless. And then for Mars, for the Green Bay Packers, they're also right next to the sun, but they're moving away. They're like, all right, let's get this done. We're going to keep moving on. We're going to the playoffs here. All right. So we got Venus and Mars going at it today. And again, just with all this Capricorn energy, like, even T-Bass himself don't care about the game today. All this, like, it's more serious, not as fun, like just kind of having to go through the motions, for both teams, really. Like, yeah, there's some things to look out for, but at the end of the day, it's like business is business, right? They have to play this game because it's on a schedule. And that can kind of correlate with all the Capricorn energy. Capricorn, all work, no play kind of vibes sometime, all right, with Capricorn. Okay. So also what I look at for both teams is how they play their game, and then how they're going to show out on a public level today. House number 5, that's the house of games in astrology. And then house number 10, that's your public image, your career, how you show up to the public. So for the Vikings, again, they're ruled by Venus. And I'm looking to see, the moon is not doing anything with Venus. So it's like, okay, all right, let's keep going. And then Saturn is the planet that rules how the Vikings play their game today. Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn is very serious. Saturn is slow moving. Saturn is the greater malefic planet. It can be very challenging to deal with. So Saturn, but the good thing for the Vikings is that Venus at 13 degrees of Capricorn, Venus is in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Venus will eventually make good communication with Saturn. Saturn is over in Pisces. So Venus and Saturn are almost 60 degrees apart. That's what's called a sextile in astrology. That's easy breezy communication between two planets. So while the game might be a little bit more serious and maybe not as fun, just because, again, the Vikings, their season's ending. Green Bay, they're not starting any of their starters. They already know that, they just kind of have to go through the motions. All right. Now, for the Vikings, they also have Pluto in their 5th house of how they play their game today. Pluto is a destructive planet. It will uproot things, and it will tear stuff down that's not working anymore. So if you notice this thick red line here, Pluto is directly opposing the moon. The moon rules the people. The moon co-rules the chart. So, this game in some sort of way for the Vikings could be an uprooting situation. Like, things how they were for the Vikings are no longer going to be how they are right now after this game, during this game. And that kind of fits too, kind of what we've been hearing. Like, Harrison Smith's probably going to be gone. Brian Flores could potentially be gone. Even potentially maybe Justin Jefferson, one of like the star players, could be gone. Is JJ McCarthy going to be the starter of the team next year? All of these things kind of coming into play. That's very Pluto energy. And it's slow moving. Like, Pluto's not going to be like an overnight thing. It's just going to be over time. You're eventually going to notice these things. And it's like throughout the season, what have we kind of been noticing? Brian Flores, the defense has kind of been doing well. He potentially, most likely, is going to get an opportunity to go be a head coach somewhere else. Harrison Smith, this has kind of been coming along. Like he's probably going to be done now. On to his next thing. Justin Jefferson, we shall see what's going to happen now with him. So just something to look out for. All right. Something transformational. Okay. Within this game today for the Vikings. And then the Vikings, their fourth house of the stadium, US Bank Stadium, their home. That is where Venus, the sun, and Mars, they're all there. So the Vikings, they're there. Obviously, this is a home game for them. The sun is there, very powerful. Mars is there too. So it's like all of this energy culminating the end of this season. I will expect that there's probably going to be a lot of fans there. Like I would think it's probably going to be full. And, Venus there, they're going to be celebrating the team. Probably, again, celebrating Harrison Smith, celebrating another season. But then Mars is there. Mars is a little bit of a meanie. And, it's the lesser malefic planet. Saturn is the greater malefic planet. So it's like there's also like for Vikings fans, like, man, this season's done. It's over. After this, it's done. And we got to wait months now. Like, damn, that kind of a vibe. And then for the Vikings, their 10th house of how they show out to the public is ruled by the moon. Again, the moon is opposing Pluto. It's not doing anything with the Vikings themselves. So there could still be some growing pains that we see today. And there could be some things that happen for the Vikings, some plays, potentially offensively, where it's just like, damn, like, what are we doing here? Like maybe McCarthy, has some trouble. Maybe he can't find Justin Jefferson. And that will eventually down the line make the Vikings question, okay, is McCarthy going to be our future guy? Justin Jefferson, do I want to stay here? Kind of things like that. Another thing for the Vikings is that they do have Jupiter, the greater benefic planet, in their 10th house of how they show up to the public today. So that's why I kind of think, Vikings fans, a lot of football fans, very, very loyal. Even though this team, nothing's happening after today, I expect the stadium to be full. Jupiter will expand anything that it touches, and it usually brings blessings and positivity. So even though the Vikings aren't going anywhere, right? Well, there's always next year. Like that's sort of like, well, today's the last game, but we can still celebrate and there's always next year, right? Kind of vibe. All right. So now let's move over to Green Bay really quickly. Let's see. Kels. No, I'm not streaming the game today. I'm not actually. I'm not. I have been in the past, but I won't be doing it today. No, I'm just doing the astrology kind of breakdown right now, but always welcome to ask and appreciate you stopping by. Hi, Ryan. Hey, Jade, we are literally just leaving my dad's. All right, well, shout out to you guys. Safe travels, Ryan. Thanks for stopping through. Always good to see you. I like your picture there. I think that's a new picture you have of all the sports teams. I like the Timberwolf in the middle there. Good to see you, Ryan. Hope all is well. All right. So now, another thing that I wanted to just touch on too for the Vikings is that Jupiter, the greater benefic planet, which is in their 10th house of how they show out on a public level, Jupiter is in good communication, one of these blue lines here, with Saturn, which rules their game. So again, like Saturn is like the taskmaster. It's father time. It's like if you do what you're supposed to do, then you will get rewarded. So, I kind of said this last week too. Again, when Saturn is involved, and again, Saturn rules how the Vikings play their game today. Follow the rules, do what you're supposed to do, make it happen, and you will get rewarded by getting the victory, okay? And then ending the season kind of on a high note, okay? Even though, again, it's like, well, you're not doing anything after the game today, right? All right, so again, Venus is the Vikings today, and they do have Jupiter in their 10th house. So I have seen this play out in the past where if one team has both benefic planets, that being Jupiter and Venus, Jupiter, the greater benefic, Venus, the lesser benefic. I have seen that play out positively for a team. I've seen that play out a few different times. Like when a team has both Jupiter and Venus, like Venus and Jupiter got your back, both benefic planets, you should probably win. All right. Now, there's a first time for everything. And I'm not saying this happens every single time, but I have seen it happen more than once. All right. So anyway, now moving on to the evil to the east today. All right. So again, they're ruled by Mars. Mars is the lesser malefic planet. There's 2 benefics and 2 malefics. Saturn is the greater malefic. Mars is the lesser malefic. Mars actually, since Mars rules anger, bloodshed, cutting, like cops, fire, things like that. But it's fast moving. It also rules your ambition, your drive, how much energy that you're trying to put into something. Mars usually does well in sports because you need all of that energy and drive and ambition in sports. So a lot of times prominent athletes will have like what's called like a very well aspected Mars. So that would be like in an athlete's personal birth chart, Mars is getting all this like good energy from other planets, just for an example. All right. So Mars generally does well in sports. So Mars is the Packers today, or the evil to the east, and then also the Packers have Uranus in their first house. So Uranus is going to kind of co-rule them. Uranus is the planet of chaos, of unpredictability, of spontaneity, of surprise. Uranus is also retrograde in motion. So Uranus is moving the opposite way that it normally does. In the sign of Taurus, Taurus is an earthy sign. Taurus likes stability and something that is like predictable. Like Taurus is a lot of times they're creatures of comfort. They want to stay where they are comfortable. So with Uranus there, it's like, whoa, we got this like chaotic energy that's trying to push me around. And Taurus is ruled by the bull. So if you think about like poking and prodding a bull, what's eventually going to happen? The steam's going to come out of the nostrils and they're not going to be happy. So there could be something kind of unexpected with the Packers today. Now, could that be some sort of unexpected victory, even though they're not playing any of their starters? Like, we're going to surprise you, Vikings, that we're actually going to beat you. Just food for thought. And then for Green Bay, their 5th house of how they play their game today is lands in the sign of Cancer. Cancer's ruled by the moon. So the moon is the ruler of how Green Bay plays their game today. And if you look, the moon is right there. So for the Packers, yes, this game is kind of pointless. Again, they're resting their starters, but it could be important for some players on the Packers that are starting today. Like some of the players potentially are getting their very first start today. They could be, this could be an audition for them, for not only the Packers, them auditioning for the Packers, but them auditioning for other teams, like putting themselves out there. Like, hey, pick me, pick me. I've been sitting on the bench, but now I get my time to shine. Now, if you look at the moon, which rules the Packers game, it is in their 5th house. So there's all this like shining illuminated light there. So that I read that as like, for a lot of the players that are starting today, they're like, this is my chance. This is my time to shine. Let me go out there and show everybody who's watching what I can do here. So I definitely, that's the vibe there, especially for Green Bay. And I mean, that's not surprising, right? Because, again, astrology is usually reflective of what's going on, vice versa. But if you look at the moon, it's not doing anything with Mars, okay? So they're not, like, the Packers and how they play their game today, they're not really, like, aligning or, like, doing all that much. But, again, I do still see this moon, this shining light here on their game. And then for the Packers, their 10th house of how they show out on a public level today lands in the sign of Capricorn. It's at 10 degrees too. They're what's called their midheaven. And the number 10 is associated with Capricorn. So, and Capricorn can be associated again with all work, no play, with business, with money. So some of these Packers players are like, I need to shine today to get my bag, to get some money, to get a new contract, to solidify myself as a business. And then two, for the Packers, their 10th house, all of this energy is here. They're there. Mars, the Packers themselves, the sun is there. Venus, the Vikings are there. So even though this is a meaningless game for most, for the Packers, the players starting today, this is very important for them. This is like a big business deal or a potential big business deal for some of the Packers players today. That is what I'm getting. I think Jefferson and McCarthy will stay unless Jefferson pushes Burrow. Yeah, we'll have to see. It'll be a very interesting offseason too, for just the Vikings. I mean, for everybody in general. But yeah, I don't know too. And it's just like with Jefferson getting the Corey Stringer Award. It's not saying that he doesn't deserve it, but is that just like a peace offering too? Like, please stay here, don't go. So yeah, we'll see. And if I were the Vikings astrologer, I would encourage them to keep McCarthy because he's a horse. His Chinese animal is horse. And we're going into a horse year starting in February. So usually if it's the same, if we're going into an animal year that is the same animal that you are, it's generally good. So McCarthy's a horse. We're going into a horse year. Minnesota itself is a horse state. So, maybe they keep the kid around here, keep him around. But, if you think about horses too, they're very, very, they're very sentient and they're very, very healing. They have this all animals do, but, horses are actually very fragile if you think about it. Because if a horse breaks its leg, that's it. It's done, right? It's done and dusted. You're pretty much, you're down for the count. So they can be kind of fragile too. So if you think about JJ McCarthy, just like as a horse, and the animal itself, again, very powerful, very majestic, very regal, and move very quickly, right? And they have all of this possibility, but one little false move or one, snap of something, it's done. So anyway, let's see. I'm good with a vet backup who isn't a huge threat to JJ, just enough to push him, but can't be counted on or in case of fire, break glass. Yeah, for sure. And that's probably where, who really knows? But that's probably what they'll do unless, I don't know. I could see it go either way, really. I could see I don't know. We'll have to see. And just to be a fly on the wall, right? In some of those conversations, with the Wilfs, right? Just to be a fly on the wall. Because I could see him going all in on getting Joe Burrow here, for example. I could totally see that. I could totally see it Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson back together. Could you think about it? It could just be this amazing. And then McCarthy can sit behind him. All this stuff, right? Or, let's bring in Mac Jones, right? And let's have Mac Jones and JJ McCarthy battle it out, blah, 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 or trying to bring back Daniel Jones or something like that. The possibilities are endless, right? So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Anything, I'm not even going to summon. I don't want to summon, but we're done there was an experiment at quarterback that went on for far too long here. So please, no, don't bring him back. Okay. The majority of you know who I'm talking about. Okay. I'm going to take one more sip of tea. It's getting kind of cold. It's Earl Grey. All right. It's very tasty. Okay. Now, the moon rules Green Bay's game, how they play their game today. The moon is not doing anything with Green Bay itself. The moon, again, in their 5th house of how they play their game today. So I already went over that. I do think this is an audition. For all the Packers players that are getting the start today, they're this is my chance. All right. I have my monologue memorized. I get my chance to audition. Here we go. All right. So, all right. This could be very, very important for some of those players for sure. All right. But the moon is not doing anything with Mars. And then the moon is not doing anything with Uranus, which co-rules the Packers today. And then Saturn, the ruler of how the Packers show out to the public today, Saturn is actually in harmony with Mars, with Green Bay itself. So like I could read that as like some players today for Green Bay that we, as the public haven't really seen. We might see something today where we're like, damn, who's that? Where did they come from? How long have they been sitting on the bench? Let's maybe look at this player a little bit more. Like that person caught my eye. Like, look at what he can do. We could definitely see a little bit of that today. And then, for Green Bay, what I do like for them is they have Saturn, the ruler of how they show out on a public level today. They have Saturn in their 12th house of hidden enemies, of what's hidden away from them. And Saturn actually does really, really well in the 12th house. Every planet finds its joy in a certain house. There's 12 houses, and Saturn finds its joy in house number 12 because that's endings, that's isolation, again, hidden enemies, kind of hospitals, kind of spirituality, things behind the scenes. Saturn likes all of those things, okay? So I do think that there could be like some positives in that regard for Green Bay and for some of Green Bay's players. And not to mention too that like Venus, the Vikings, and Mars are both there, and the sun is there too. So, I mean, we could see some stuff from the Packers today being like, okay, where you been hanging out on the bench? All right, something like that. And then again, for the Vikings, we could see some troubles today with Pluto in their 5th house of how they play their game today, opposing the moon. Like there could be some players, on Green Bay that maybe take the Vikings for surprise a little bit. Like, I wasn't expecting them to do that, type of thing. But the fact that like the Packers, they don't have any like support. I mean, they do, but they don't have any like big support from the moon. Like the moon is not communicating with Mars. The moon is not communicating with Saturn. All right. Whereas like the Vikings, they're ruled by Venus, the lesser benefic. Green Bay is ruled by Mars, the lesser malefic. Mars does do well in sports again, I will say that, but Mars being in the sign of Capricorn kind of slows Mars down a little bit. And then Venus for the Vikings, it's a little bit more of a somber, serious tone. Again, like the season coming to an end, celebrating, but again, it's over, it's done. So I think if the Vikings do what they're supposed to do, kind of follow the rules, put the effort in, I am picking them to win the game today. But I do see some potential for, some players on Green Bay or Green Bay just in general to kind of surprise the Vikings a little bit, like run a couple of things like we're like, okay, we weren't expecting that, per se. So I am picking the Vikings. I didn't do a point spread yet, but nothing positive about Green Bay. You're a Vikings fan. That's fair. Yeah, I understand that. But again, when I'm looking at the chart, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of either team. I am being objective, and I'm just showing what the chart says. But I totally get that as a Vikings fan. Nothing good in Green Bay, of course. Yeah. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Yeah, it's been going good. Yeah, final Sunday of the regular season. Yeah, which also correlates to the full moon we just had yesterday. An ending, completion. We're wrapping things up here. So, but yeah, it's going good. I hope your Sunday is going great too. Always good to see you. The only moon I ever liked added Green Bay was rainy. I know, right? Oh, I should have worn that shirt today. Damn it. I was going to wear that shirt today. I forgot. What the hell? It's even clean, hanging up in my closet. I have a Randy Moss mooning shirt. I should have worn that today. What the hell? What was I thinking? I dropped the ball there. Damn it. All right. Oh my God, we only have three minutes until game time, you guys. I am gonna pop in at halftime, but I'm gonna pop off here. I'm just going to do the final point spread here. Let me see. Oh, let's see. Trying to find the game here too on Hulu. Oh, that's cold because I don't have my space heater on. I'm like, what the hell? All right. Put the game on. There's a Seinfeld. Oh, we got a below deck marathon on Bravo. Okay. All right. Thanks everybody for stopping on in, for joining too. Appreciate it. I fully expect the Vikings just going through the motions, waiting for the game to get over and this season to be over with. I expect a low energy game. Yeah, definitely just kind of going through the motions, like business as usual. Like we're here because we kind of have to be there. And, you know, that kind of correlates to with all this Capricorn energy. It's a little bit, you know, a little bit more serious, a little bit more of a serious tone. Like, you know, Capricorn can be associated with business too. And again, kind of all work, no play kind of vibe. So yeah, could definitely see that too. And, you know, maybe too, this moon opposing Pluto type of thing, maybe that could be some sort of like, oh, Justin Jefferson actually doesn't get to 1,000 yards today. You know, that could be it too, because the moon is shining a light in Leo. Justin Jefferson does have a Leo moon. So does JJ McCarthy, but the moon is opposing Pluto. Oppositions are struggles. It's like one or the other. Like you're not getting both. All right. And Pluto is destructive, and it is in the Vikings' 5th house of how they play their game today. All right. So we could look out for that too. And yeah, like something that the Green Bay Packers do that kind of surprises them, throws them for a loop in a little bit of a sense. But let's see. I'm going to do the point spread here. And so far for my prediction record, let's see. For the regular season for Vikings predictions, I am 11-5. So I am picking the Vikings to win today. If they do end up winning, I will end the regular season at 12-5 with my predictions. So as an astrologer, fingers crossed. All right. And as far as the point spread goes, I'm thinking like, let's see, Vikings by, I don't know. I could see this like being closer than maybe expected. Maybe like 13 points. I mean, I know last week was 13, but I say that because of Venus being the Vikings at 13 degrees of Capricorn, and then Saturn at 26 degrees of Pisces, and Saturn rules how the Vikings play their game today. The Vikings are ruled by Venus at 13 degrees. So maybe like 26-13, something like that. 55 minus 23. What is that? 32? Man, 32-point victory? I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm going to say like anywhere from like, the points I'm still just really trying to figure out. Yeah, like, I don't know, like 26-13, something like that. But I picked the Vikings to win by, I'm going to say like 2 to 10 points or 2-13. Okay. I got to write it down before I forget. Okay. All right, you guys, but the game's about to start. I am going to pop off here, but I will pop back on at halftime, okay? Or that's the plan. Let me write this in. All right, if I can type here. Prediction, Vikings went over to the evil to the east, the Green Bay Packers by 2-13. All right? Okay. It's going well. Unfortunately, I watched that Bucks Panthers game yesterday, and my Saints are playing the Falcons today. Well, I hope the Saints beat the Falcons and beat Pizza Ranch Boys. So I actually didn't catch the game yesterday, but the Bucks are one of the teams that I cheer for after the Vikings are done and dusted this year. So they're one of my backups. So I'm happy about that. Oh, we got Jim Kleinsaucer in the house today, blowing the horn. And you know what? Kind of like I expected. Like I said earlier, you guys, the stadium is completely full, even though this is a meaningless game. So that's not surprising to me at all. So thanks everybody for hanging out. I hope I will see you guys at halftime. SMS, what's going on? Let's School. I realize when I'm on my computer, my YouTube is connected to my university email. You know, the things we realize, right? It's all good. John, you got the Vikings by 10. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. I could totally see that. Yeah. Can you believe that if we beat the Cheeseheads today, we would only be a half win away? Yeah, that's crazy, right? And if and when they do win, that'll be part of like, well, the season was a success. It's like, was it though? Was it? So yeah, that'll be crazy though. You know, it looked really full, but now I'm seeing some empty seats. But I mean, again, considering this game is meaningless for both teams, the stadium is pretty full. So Vikings fans showing out like they are wont to do. All right, you guys, but that's my prediction. Let's see how it plays out. I appreciate everybody being here. And yeah, kickoff has started. Vikings get the ball first. They're running it back. They get it to about the 25. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Appreciate it. And excuse me. Hope I see you at halftime. All right, everybody. I'll catch you later. Peace out.